Services, which is a nationally known and locally owned consulting firm. He is also a former banking commissioner of the state of Louisiana, is an expert in the area of banking and insurance. He currently serves at large for the Republican Parish Executive Committee. He is also the spokesperson for Tax Busters, a local political organization that supports unnecessary and burdensome taxes on the citizens. Fred is married to the wonderful and ever-pleasant Elizabeth Dent. They have 5 children and 5 grandchildren. He is a former Green Beret and the incoming president of the Special Forces Association of Louisiana. I would like to give a big, warm Baton Rouge Tea Party welcome to Mr. Fred Dent.
I don't know what goes on in the mind of these politicians. They get elected and they want to roll the dice and come up with our money to pay for what they want to do. That's exactly what we have this time. We have a mayor that ran 3 times. He's elected. He's for the tax. Imagine that. Imagine that. We don't know anything about the money the tax is going to generate. We don't know anything about what they're going to spend it on. There are no pro formas. There are no financial data. They want us to have blind faith. And I think I'm too mature, I'd rather say mature than old, to have blind faith in government. So I call it Kip Holdup. And his sidekicks, the pro-tax duo, Walter Mansour and Mr. Futrell, all on the city payroll. Well, for $300,000 a year like Walter's getting, and wherever he's getting that for, I could be for the tax too, you know? I mean, no, I really couldn't be, but nor would they have me. But nonetheless, it's a case. So what we need to do is to let our elected officials know that enough is enough. That this kind of foolishness of having blind faith without any information whatsoever, that's just, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, not good business. And I think we ought to run our city on a little bit of business. Now, government is not business, I understand that. But we ought to at least practice those things, like providing information for you and for me to look over to see what they're going to spend it for and how they're going to generate it. I asked one of them, I said, you're going to build a garage. Oh man, it's going to be a great garage. They made it with, that's great for the private sector. They are. I said, why doesn't the private sector do it? Amen. You know, why should we spend our money to do for the private sector what the private sector should be doing for themselves? Now help them, that's different. To do it this time. So we have these folks that want to hold us up again. I like that, holding us up, holding up the people. And I think it's time to stop it. There is a move now. I understand, I heard on the news tonight coming out here, that they're going to try to take it off the ballot. They ought to take it off the ballot. Yep. Yes. If they don't want to take it off the ballot, we ought to do everything we can to beat it. And that's what I will do. My wife and I and our little group called Tax Busters. We've never been paid a nickel. We use our own money. Sometimes folks help us out with a little money for ads. It's all volunteer. When they say get involved, we get involved. The politicians don't particularly like it, I can assure you of that. Let me tell you, since Kip's been mayor, 2006, $235 million budget, 19 more than Bobby Simpson, 19 million more. 2007, 254 million, 24 million. 2008, 278 million, 4 million more. 2009, 282 million, $71 million more. That's a lot of money to spend. It appears to me that we have enough money to do what we want to do. And I know something about building things and financing things. And we have enough money to want to do it, but let's do it right. Let's give the people the opportunity to see it. Listen to these numbers. In 2002, the whole city parish budget was $210 million. 2002, $210 million. This $1 billion tax is 5 times more. The mayor and the Metro Council did not do their homework. They lots of unanswered questions. There have been no due diligence, no proof of income, just blind faith. It's what I call a generational tax. This is a tax they want to put on the books for 30 years. My grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and maybe my great-great-grandchildren will be paying this tax, and yours will too. There is no transparency. We don't know what they're going to do. They're going to build a billion of public tax money to build a facility that's run by a private, non-profit public institute called the Audubon Institute. Books will be closed to the public. So we won't have any idea what they're doing in reality. And if that's what they want, I'm against it.
Amen.
And if they want to put it on the books, a separate tax for each one of the separate issues for the police department, I'm for it. Put it on the books, put it up, let us have a choice. The people, in my opinion, make good decisions. We may not like the decisions my fellow citizens make, but they make good decisions. We have to allow them, in my opinion, to do that. There's a concern about the land ownership. Y'all heard it on the radio. Who owns the land? They don't know. Lawsuits abound. It's built on the lead. They have no approval from the Corps of Engineers, railroad track access. No safety issues have been studied, barges, etc. No risk management studies have been done, but they tell us to say what? Have faith. Well, I'm tired of being held up by the politicians. And I would suggest that if you have an opportunity that you talk to your council members, give them a buzz and say, look, take the thing off the ballot. Put it back on 6, 8, 9 months from now and get the numbers right. Let's debate it and let's then do it the right way. Give the people a chance to vote on each separate incident. But you have to get involved. Now, I went and looked at the money. I love to look at the money. I don't have any money, but I love to look at it. They've raised in the past $426,000. $426,000, mainly from architects and engineers. What do you think the promises were made?
Money.
Help us out a little bit. We're going to see if you can get a little bit. Maybe not quite that much. $426,000. And they also hired, I love it, this is economic development, Baton Rouge. They hired people from Fairfax, Virginia, $286,000 spent on out-of-state businesses, as opposed to at least using Baton Rouge business. So it's not economic development for Baton Rouge, it's economic development for somebody else, and we don't get any of that. It really does, if you put it time, it smells bad. It ought to be taken off the ballot. And if they want to put it on the ballot, let's get a group together and beat it to death. Look at all the numbers, get some people that can look at the numbers and fine tune it. And then let the people have opportunity to vote separately on each one. I'm for supporting our public police officers and the sheriff's office. God knows they need help. They do things that I would never have done. Well, I've done in the past in the military, but that's 40 years, 40 past. So we need to stand up and say, hey, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Put it on the ballot, that's fine. Let's separate it, let us have an opportunity to get the numbers right, put together a committee of smarter people than Fred that can look at the numbers and publish those numbers so you and I will know what we're voting for. And to me, it's just that simple. We have this little group called Tax Busters. We get involved, you know, they say, we want you to participate, but they won't participate, they don't like how we participate, which is okay, I don't know how that bit. So we're there, we're ordinary folks using our own money. We don't raise money unless somebody calls up and says, I want to give you a donation. I had a lady call, she said, I'd like to buy an ad. I said, well, if you want to buy an ad, I'll get a price for you and I'll call her. Next week or so, I'll call her and tell her what a small ad costs. But we don't go out and beat people to death to raise money. But we're there, we know what money we have, we report it to the state, appropriately so. We tell everybody what you gave, everybody what we spent, and that's the public record. So enough is enough, and I'm tired of being held up by the hold-up game.